The two most important lessons that I learned in this subject in FCL is the healing of the paralytic man and also the healing of the blind man.
The paralyzed man. Let's meet Jesus, God's one and only Son.
Ohio!
He came to earth to save us, each and every one. People heard of the amazing things Jesus was up to. Crowds gathered wherever he went to see what he would do. Some men had a friend who couldn't walk. He was paralyzed. So they tried taking him to Jesus,
Excuse me?
but couldn't because of the crowd's size. The house was filled with people. They couldn't even get in.
Oh, well. No!
But not a problem.
What?
They had an idea and just needed to do a bit of climbing.
We got this.
They got on the roof, dug a hole, and lowered him through the ceiling.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
He landed in front of Jesus, hoping for a healing. Jesus saw their faith and said, "Son, your sins are forgiven." Some Jewish leaders thought, "What does he think he's doing?" Jesus knew what they were thinking and asked, "Why do you think that?" Then he told the paralyzed man to stand up and pick up his mat.
Okay.
The man stood up, picked up his mat, and he started walking. Everyone was amazed. They were shocked at what they were seeing. All praised God and said, "We've never seen anything like this before." The man walked out through the crowd and was paralyzed no more.
Hey, what's happening? What's going on?
Jesus of Nazareth is passing by.
Oh. Jesus! Oh, Jesus! Son of David, have mercy on me!
What do you want me to do for you?
I want to see again.
Then see. Your faith has made you well.
I can see. I can see. I can see.
Did you lose him?
Because it is all about the healing grace of Christ that is given if there are also helpful, kind, and serviceable people who extend their hands to the suffering ones. The paralytic was brought by helpful people to Jesus. Humility and helpfulness go together, as these are two virtues that shows one's willingness to good to others. As we also humbly depend on God's goodness, we all depend on God's help as we are all limited and weak. As human persons, as God helps us, we also need to help others. Another one is the story of the healing of the blind man. This story shows that a man does not only need to see through his eyes, but to see Jesus with faith and the bright future ahead of him. By cultivating a heart enlightened by love, the blind man showed his true meekness by showing his determination to see Jesus and to totally depend on his healing grace. first lesson, that is the healing of the paralytic man, it is similar to my situation during the time that me and my friends are going home after a party. As we walked past by the street, we saw a man unconscious. We immediately go where the man is, as we saw his face with many bruises and very swollen part of his body. And later on, as he gained consciousness, we asked him what happened. He said that a bunch of people make fun of him and punch him until he don't have any consciousness while he was drunk. After hearing his story, we assist him to our barangay and ask for assistance so the stranger can file a blotter and can go home. The stranger thanks us for accompanying him. The second lesson is the healing of the blind man. That time, I was going home and late from school and walking along the Zapote Road, and when arriving at the terminal, there were no buses left. So during that time, I panicked and thinking how to go home. At first, I stayed in the terminal and hoped for a bus to come by. And as time passed by, and my waiting time is from 12 midnight until 2. It's very long. I was losing hope that moment. I was on the brink of despair that I may end up sleeping in the terminal. But as I hope and have faith and believe that there will be a bus to come by in a short time, but sadly no one showed. I bowed my head and accepted my fate. But I was shocked when someone called me and I saw my friend who is near where I was living. He gave me a free ride with his car, and then I go home. Maybe 3 in the morning. Yes. So it applied to the lesson because God will never neglect you, and if you have faith and believe on one thing, it will come true. Although in my situation, I hope for a bus to come. Instead, God used other instrument to help me go home, which is my friend. In the prayer based on today's Gospel on January 12, 2021, which is Mark 1 verses 21 to 28, the important lesson that I learned in this prayer is that God is doing His best to protect us from evil and temptation, which the world gives us that lead us to be far from God and be blinded by it. As a followers of God, our faith to our Creator should not be shattered just by mere pleasures that the evil give us. As I promote or share this lesson to others, first thing I will gonna do is apply it to myself, knowing God do good things to us that we don't know or see. And after applying it, as a millennial, I will post about it and share some related articles from it. And in my family members, I will preach it and teach it to the children and the young ones